So welcome along Maddie Cleat. Maddie is a hockey player at the University of Cal Berkeley. Maddie, thanks very much for coming into the big interview this week.
No worries, thank you for having me.
How's life just now? You know, how's things with lockdown? How you coping?
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's nice to be home and for the summer and see my family and my friends. But luckily I managed to stay out in Berkeley until end of May, which was really nice. So made it easier to do my studies online, and it was really good being able to hang out with my friends there until the end of May and not being stuck here for 3 months. So that was really good, and now I'm managing to train and I've got lots of time to do that, so lockdown's been good for me.
Great stuff. Maddie, let's go back to the very start. You know, when did your hockey journey start? What was it that made you decide this is something I really want to do and try and pursue?
Well, hockey is like the main girls' sport at my school, so every girl kind of does it anyway. And so once I started playing at school, I absolutely loved it. And also my dad and my grandpa actually played hockey, which is quite cool. So I guess that was kind of an inspiration for me. So the more I got into hockey, I joined Greenock Hockey Club, which was my first ever club, which my grandpa had played at. So I guess that's really how it all started. And that was all when I was maybe about 10 or 11 years old.
And obviously you attended St Columbas and Kilmacombe, notoriously great school for athletics. What was it going through St Columbas that sort of inspired you and helped you become a hockey player?
I guess because St Columbas is so small, it was really helpful because the pupils got to know like the teachers and the coaches really well. So they were really supportive, and it was easy to ask them for help if I needed any. But at the same time, they really helped make us independent people and just do our own thing, which was really good. And then playing in the first 11 for 3 years, there was always maybe like 3 or 4 Scottish hockey players in the team. So really they inspired me a lot to like get better and to grow my game, and it was just amazing playing such a high level at school with really good people. So that was how St Columbas really helped me.
And what first planted the seed about the options of going out to the United States? When did that come about?
Well, there was 2 boys in the years above me that had gone to America for soccer, and so I kind of thought that's quite cool. Might see if I could look into it, but like no other girls in the school had done it before, so I wasn't too sure. I didn't know anything about it at the time. So then like getting in touch with FirstPoint was really easy through Andrew Keane, since he lived in Kilmacombe. And then after that just kind of sold me the dream. So then I really wanted to go.
And were you nervous? You know, obviously my role as a consultant and Andrew's at the time was the same. We obviously let you into our world and what it was like in the States. Did part of it excite you? Did part of it worry you about just how big a giant leap of faith you're about to take?
Yeah, I was super excited because it was like a surreal experience and opportunity that I could take, and no one I really knew like had told me much about it. So in that sense, it was really nerve-wracking because I didn't really know what I was getting into, and especially moving all the way to California, it's like 12-hour flight away. So that was definitely, I was nervous for that. But I've always kind of thought it's nice playing a team sport because like you'll always have your team to like help support you and everything. So in that sense, I wasn't too nervous, and I was just, I was really excited. My parents were supporting me as well, which was good.
And talk to us a little bit about the beginning of that process then. So you've now decided that you want to try and commit to going to the university in the States. What was the journey like between then and finally securing a place at Berkeley?
So obviously I got in touch with FirstPoint USA through Andrew Keane, which was amazing. And then after we were talking, sent you guys some of my highlight tapes, and I think you guys just put them up. And then like really quickly coaches started to get in contact with me just through email, which was cool. And I was talking to maybe 8 to 10 different universities, and I would Skype them, which was really cool just to get to know the coaches, get to know their program and their facilities and everything. And by the end of that, I think Cal seemed like the most keen, and I was the most keen for California as well, which was cool. So I committed verbally to going there, And then amazingly, I was able to go on a trip to go see it the year after, which was really cool, and that completely sealed the deal for me because I absolutely loved it when I went over.
And how are you enjoying it? I mean, obviously living in California, what a place to be. How are you getting on? Do you enjoy life outside and inside university?
Yeah, I'm absolutely loving it, honestly. I think Cal was just a really good fit for me, to be honest. Obviously, can't complain about the weather, which is so nice. It's a good plus. And Berkeley's such a nice place, and it's good how close it is to like San Francisco, and other like amazing, beautiful places. And yeah, honestly, just absolutely loving it. Got really good social life, really good friends, and yeah, the hockey's going really well, and I'm just enjoying it a lot. So it's really
Excellent.
good.
I think I think one of the things I always remember at the very beginning and how nervous I was. I'm not gonna know anyone. I'm not gonna have any friends there. It's amazing just how quickly friendships can evolve. And I always tell people that I speak to nowadays, your friendships will grow exponentially right at the very beginning. Would you say that's something? I mean, would you say your best friends are people that you didn't know before you went out there?
Yeah, 100%. I'm so close with my team, which is just amazing, and most of my best friends are in that, and I live with them as well, which is really good fun. But all the student athletes are like in the same boat as you, and Cal has a lot of international students, which is really nice. So honestly, it's just like super easy getting to know everyone there, and see everyone playing their own sports and everything. So it's really cool.
And tell us a little bit about your college life, the facilities, the campus, and just the kind of life experience itself. What's your sort of daily schedule look like during the week?
So usually in fall, that's when our season is. So it's really hectic. So we usually train 5 days a week, and we'll have 2 games per week. But because only 3 schools on the West Coast play field hockey, we travel to the East Coast a lot, which is really good fun just because you get to see a lot more of America. But it can be obviously stressful at times, trying to balance like the academics and stuff. But professors and stuff are really easygoing and always try and help athletes as much as they can, which is really good. So it's really fun traveling to the East Coast, and that'll be usually a trip from Thursday to Sunday, which is cool. And then, I mean, our facilities there are insane. We have a hockey pitch to ourselves, which is cool. Locker rooms. Obviously, the football stadium is just insane. I think it holds something like 60,000 people, which is just incredible. And everyone's so professional there, and just yeah, the facilities are absolutely crazy.
And what would you say the journey so far in the States has done for your hockey career, and in terms of where you were before you left Scotland to now, where would you say you are?
Well, honestly, I'm just so happy that the hockey managed to take me to such a good university. I think that was like the main thing that I wanted to do. But honestly, I've just enjoyed the hockey out there so much, training and having like one-to-one training, and obviously with the team and meeting tons of different international players just improved my game a lot. And it is very intense out there, but honestly, it's good fun if you love the game and if you put all your effort into it. So yeah, I'm loving it, and I definitely think I've improved, which is good. So yeah, I'm just enjoying it a lot.
What's been the highlight of your time in the States so far, would you say?
Ooh, I definitely think playing games is so much fun, especially home games, because all the parents and everyone comes to watch, and then you've got a big tailgate after the game, which is really fun. But also traveling to play games is amazing because, as I said before, we get to see like more of America. So I've traveled to Chicago, to I've seen Yale, I've been to Kentucky, which is quite cool. So definitely would say that playing games is really fun. But also just like the atmosphere there is just insane, and the people you meet is probably the best thing about it.
Have you got any ambitions for your final year?
Well, fingers crossed my final year actually goes ahead. So not 100% sure about that. But yeah, no, I'm super excited going into it as captain, which will be really good fun. And yeah, we'll just see how it goes, to be honest. Always try our hardest and hopefully reach our tournament at the end, which we usually do. So that'd be cool.
And going back to the subject of your school, St Columbas, you're not the only one out in the States from St Columbas. Tell us a little bit more about that.
No, so Joe, Josh, and Imogen are all there. Those are three of my best friends from school, which is crazy that we've all four of us have managed to go out there. Joe, he plays rugby at St Mary's, which is literally like 20 minutes away from me. So it's so nice having a friend literally so close. And so he'll come to my hockey games. I've been to his rugby games, and we go to a couple of parties together and stuff. So that's like amazing that he's out there. Josh, he's at Wofford and he's doing cross country, and he's loving it as well. And then Imogen, she's one of my best friends who I've played hockey with for literally like my whole time. She's at Yale, and I've managed to go see her for Thanksgiving. She's come out to me for Thanksgiving, and she's also come to Berkeley to play a game against us, which was really good fun.
Tell us a little bit more of that then, because obviously you've went from being teammates at home and going out there and now being opponents out in the States, but you've managed to keep that friendship really, really close. Tell us a little bit about you and Imogen.
Yeah, so we were literally teammates in school, club, district, and Scottish hockey for literally like 12 years. And obviously it was always like quite competitive against each other, but never like we were in opposite teams, maybe in training or something, but not for like a proper game. So it was really weird when we were playing against each other, but we don't really play the same positions. So that was nice that we weren't like fully against each other. But it was really good fun because Imogen's family came out to watch, and Joe was there to watch as well. And honestly, it was just quite funny, and my team won, so that was good. But yeah, no, it was really cool actually.
I think, like, looking back to when I went, and the vast majority of student athletes who look to take this journey on are typically doing it on their own. They don't know anyone that's doing it with them. St Columbas has got a good pool of student athletes who has come out of the school and have went out at the same time. How important do you think that's been for you in terms of being able to settle in? You referred to the fact that Imogen and Josh are close friends and they all went out at the same time. Do you think it's been a huge help having those guys out there at the same time?
Yeah, definitely been a huge help, because it's just so nice to be able to talk to people who you've known from like so young and who are actually going through the same experience as you, because it is so different from home. And like obviously most people here just go to university in either Scotland or England, and so doing this huge step, it's really nice having the support from your friends and like understanding that they're going through hard times as well, and it's not just you. So it's really supportive, and definitely recommend it if people can get together and chat about it.
Excellent. So a little bit of fun here. No one gets through the big interview without 5 of Callum's questions. So the first question is, during lockdown, what are you watching on Netflix?
Oh, I've watched so many things. I've had too much time on my hands. My favourite has probably been, my family and I actually watched this thing called Atypical. I didn't think it would be very good, but it was actually ended up being really good. So,
okay. What's your favourite food?
Chocolate.
Good decision. What's your favourite sport outside hockey?
I love playing golf.
Okay.
So
Me
yeah,
too.
love playing it here. I know you're obviously a golfer. So love playing it here, and I've managed to play it out in the States a few times, and I'm really close with some people on the golf team, which is quite cool. So
what would your handicap be?
Probably around 15 or something.
That's a good effort. Not bad.
Yeah.
And it's similar playing. I've got a friend who was a Scottish internationalist hockey player when he was younger, and his golf swing very similar to his hockey swing. So
yeah, that's funny.
You've got the technique already. And just finally, during lockdown, other than watching Netflix, have you found any new hobbies or new skills that you didn't have before?
A new hobby would probably be beach volleyball. I played that quite a lot when we were out in America, which was good fun. And just fun playing with a group of people, and the weather was amazing, so can't really complain. But no new skills, I don't think.
Well, just finally, before I let you go, I always ask this question: what advice would you give to someone? What advice would you give to a young Maddie Cleat potentially in school just now, maybe wondering whether this is the right opportunity? It's definitely not for everyone, this opportunity, and it always stress that. You know, what would you say to someone who's maybe just not quite sure whether they want to do it or not?
I would definitely say if you're a very independent person, it helps a lot, because obviously you're doing this experience on your own, so it's just easier if you're confident with what you're doing and happy with like making the jump to go to America, but at the same time not being afraid to ask people for help, because there's so many resources out there when you're there to help you. And then also when you're looking, probably research the universities as much as possible, because as I said before, like California is such a good fit for me and I've absolutely loved it there, but I'm sure if I was somewhere else I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much. So definitely look at the program that you're going into, the location, the people there and things like that.
Great. Well, Maddie, thank you so much for being part of the big interview this week. We hope you have a great final season at Cal Berkeley, and we'll look forward to watching your progress. Thanks very much.
Cool. Thanks so much for having me.